What is going on, guys? It's your boy BG, and welcome to Common Sense, where common sense isn't so common. And before we really, get into the topic, you guys just make sure if you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts or whatever podcast you can actually rate and comment down below. Make sure you rate this a 5-star podcast and whatnot. And comment down below what you think about this podcast. And if you have some topics you guys want me to discuss and talk about, make sure you leave that in the comments below. And most importantly, the topic today we're going to be talking about is the ability to inspire others, yo. Just inspiration in general, man, and how powerful that is, yo. And inspiration, it plays a part in formulating a legacy, man. And what I mean by that is just having that ability to have someone else become a better version of themselves because of you becoming a better version of you. That has to be the most powerfulest thing you can do to anyone. The most powerfulest thing as far as impact. And as I always continue to say, man, impact over income, yo. If what you're doing, if the purpose of what you're doing, service is in service of others, then the income is going to make its way to you. That's something you don't have to chase. Because I feel as though if people chase money all the time, you'll never find money. You'll always be chasing money. And a lot of people chase money. To be quite honest with you, I mean, they chase money when they work a 9-to-5 job. Yeah, I'm out here getting this money. Yeah, I'm out here making this bag. You're right, my G. You're chasing money. Money should be able to be something that comes to you from just something you naturally do, or something you naturally gain from a skill, or something you're passionate about. That follows into what I was saying about what you naturally do. That's like your passion. Like, you have that natural gift for it. But as many people say, man, when you have a talent for something, you don't have the hustle for it, because there's no hustle behind talent. But when you have that skill, it comes with that hustle. Think about that. Really think about that. Because even for myself, right? When you have a talent and it comes so easy to you, there isn't really no defined hustle behind something that you can do naturally. Compared to learning a skill and developing a skill, it comes with a lot of hustle because it's something that you're just learning to do. But aside from all that, about skill and talent, we could make a topic about that, actually. Skill and talent, skill versus talent. We actually can make a topic about that. But what I'm talking about is just having the ability to inspire. Inspiring, it just comes with something natural, So I believe inspiring comes from a natural characteristic that you have that you put to use. Inspiring can be meaning like motivating. Inspiring can be meaning like you actually doing something and being an example of it. That's what I mean by inspiring. You being an example of it, you're doing it and being an example of it and showing that it can be done. That within itself inspires other people. And whatever you can create, or whatever you're designed to do or designed to create, there is someone waiting on that creation. There is someone waiting on that which you are thinking of creating. There's somebody waiting on that idea. They just waiting for you to put it out there. That within itself will inspire someone. Just like me creating this podcast. When I started this podcast, my whole purpose was to inspire other people. My whole purpose was to motivate others. My whole purpose was to be of service of others. Now, behind me doing this podcast, of course, it's still for me, but I still did it out of service of other people. I want to inspire people to become better versions of them. I want to inspire people to value their mental health, their financial wealth, and their self-love and healthcare, whatever the case may be. Self-care plus healthcare equals wealthcare. And that's what I like to promote on this podcast. Because there's some episodes we may talk about yourself, something you can do about yourself to improve you. That leads into healthcare, something that improves with your physical health. And I feel as though self-care is more like of a mental and a spiritual thing. That's a mental and spiritual. Once we get those aligned, then the health care is like the physical body, the physical presence itself. The things around you, the things that you place on your body, the things that you eat, things dealing with the five senses, you know what I'm saying? Things dealing with you personally, like your physical body, anything dealing with physical. That's what health care is surrounded by, right? Which, how you feel about your physical appearance, how you feel about the clothes on your back, or how you surround yourself with people. People don't understand that what you surround yourself as, it plays a factor in your healthcare system. That it plays a factor in that, actually. And why I say that it plays a factor, because surrounded by negative people has a deteriorating effect on your physical health, because it all retracts back to your self-care. What are you feeding yourself? It retracts back to that. It retracts all back to self-care. Nourishment, the nourishment of the mind, the nourishment of the soul. And you being surrounded with people with a negative physical presence or energy and presence will have effect on you, vice versa. So you start to be like them, start to be sloppy like them. You start catching on characteristics of those individuals that you're surrounded by. So it has effect not only on your self-care, but your health care. Now being surrounded with those type of individuals will, of course, have effect on your wealth care. And a mind that feeds only on its own nourishment is malnourished. It's not being provided with something that gives it guidance or fulfillment of the mind itself for it to grow and improve, the expansion of the mind. You have to be surrounded with individuals that are inspired, that want something, that are always seeking new information. That is extremely important within itself. Surround yourself with individuals that are very inspiring, very motivating, that's very high of energy, that has high vibration, that wants to seek new information to improve themselves. You know? And I know I wouldn't say I really went off topic, but kind of did a little teeny bit. But I'm just going to bounce it back to just being an inspirational person in general. You know, whatever you're doing, whatever occupation, whatever you want to chase, as far as like a career, and you actually doing the appropriate action to making it happen, you could be inspiring millions of people, let alone thousands, let alone hundreds, and let alone tens. That's where it starts. Tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s, you know, and so on and so on. But if you have a product or you have something that's very creative in mind, make sure you do your diligence and research on what you want to create and just put it to action and throw it into the world. And that's what creates inspiration for others to support you, right? And especially if you have a vision for it. Now that's going into a little bit deeper when it comes with inspiring people. And if you have a vision for something, make sure you take the appropriate action to follow that vision. Otherwise, it's pronounced as a false prophet, because there isn't any immediate action being taken upon that vision that you see. So with that being said, inspiring comes with just simply creating. It comes from the mind, simply just creating. And hopefully I'm not sounding like too mixed up a little bit. Hopefully I'm not, but I'm trying to make it all make sense, because I'm just letting the brain just flow and just has its creative juices flowing, because I want to make sure you guys feel the energy through the microphone, through you simply just listening. I want to make sure that every individual here knows that what my real intent is, speaking about inspiration. So back to like technically swing on this topic, but simply just creating, doing the diligence, and providing action, which produces results, then it creates inspiration. You're going to motivate others to do their diligence and create and do their diligence on whatever business they want to start or whatever they want to do. All they need is someone who they know or who they closest to, or not even that, or just someone within their age bracket, or just someone who they can relate to that can be inspirational. Now, that's not idolizing, because, a lot of people, I don't like to idolize anyone, but I like to have inspiration. Now, Prince Donnell could be someone who inspires me, who's an inspiration. Dantes Akram, he's a very inspirational to me. And he a dog younger than me, so it even hits more harder because he's within my age bracket. Who's are some other people? Chris Johnson, he can play as an inspiration to me because with the markets, with investing, I want to be able to teach people the same thing. So that's why, from a day-to-day basis, I do my diligence with research in investing and stock marketing and just learning the markets, because this is something that can create longevity wealth, generational wealth, breaking the generational curse, breaking generational poverty. And especially someone coming from DC, I want to be able to spread that kind of value to other individuals within in my age bracket of people who I personally know. I want to make sure that I myself inspire as many people as I possibly can. I want to have that impact. That's all I'm focused on, is impact. And sometimes the person that is always inspiring sometimes need to be inspired. And I had those cases of scenario. Sometimes inspiration doesn't always mean dreams and goals and aspirations. Sometimes inspiring can just simply gaining advice from other individuals that are creative, which inspires you to be able to create more. It's having that raw product of creating that can be considered as inspirational. It's just little factors that can play with just simply inspiring, just simply being surrounded with individuals that inspire. Exposure, once again, leads to expansion. And as Steve Harvey said, use your mind like a parachute. It works better when it's open. It works better when it's open. You have to expose yourself to people if you plan on growing as an individual. And even for myself, when I do these podcasts, is when I try to come up with creative ideas, sometimes I run out of ideas to talk about. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I don't. But with me just stretching out to other individuals and just networking with others who have like-minded like myself, it helps me to create more, because they may see something in a broader light than me. They have information that I don't know that will have me open to talk about more topics. That within itself can be inspiring. Just having, being inspired or inspiring also comes with the fact of who's inspiring you to become a better version of you. As I stated earlier, Chris Johnson, Dantes Akram, Prince Donnell, it's a couple of Instagram guys who I know that's really heavy and crazy on the markets, yo. Really, really crazy on the markets. And just even my own friends from time to time, dog. Even my own friends who do their own diligence in their own businesses and learning to elevate themselves in their own field. That makes me want to go harder, because it's it's never a competition with anyone, but even as close friends, you never want to seem like you yourself is becoming more of a liability in a group than it is an asset. And when you're just surrounded with individuals that's growing, you want to grow too. You want to elevate too. And if not, I don't know what to tell you, because people who are elevating never want to stoop down to someone who's not elevating, who's always at the bottom. And even tapping into this bottom and being in the mud and getting out the mud. I mean, the bottom is the best place to be. Why I say that? Because the only direction is up, literally. You can't go no lower than you are. The only direction to go is up when you're at the bottom. That's why having an upbringing and having a story can be inspiring too. I've stated it on my Twitter, if I'm not mistaken. I'm really about to go check this out right now on my Twitter. And a lot of my tweets, I usually state from off of the top of the chrome, off of the top of the head. And I stated in one of my tweets, and this is something that I've noticed personally myself, is great things haven't happened to you because of the sole fact that you don't have enough to your story. And because you haven't had enough to your story, it's not enough to tell anyone. And just simply being successful or being successful or inspiring requires requires a story to be told. It just requires it. You have to see the vision, you have to build the vision, and you have to tell the vision. And then you inspire. Your story is your brand. Literally. Your story is your brand. Your story is what's inspiring to the people, of how transparent you can be to others. That's what makes a story very, very interesting. That's what makes a story very inspiring, because you know what it's like to be at that level. And just them seeing you being able to elevate from where you were to who you are at now, to where you're at now, or who you are now, will inspire others to do the same thing. Now, as far as if we want to talk about the inspirational aspect of social media, right? And I think me and the OG a couple of weeks ago, my mind is going kind of blurred because I don't quite remember too much of what we talked about. But I was saying that, sometimes going on the media and just simply just showing people of the things that you have and things that you acquire can lead people in the wrong direction of inspiration. And why I say that is that sometimes it gains people a false sense of purpose, a false sense of what they should be aiming for. And purpose is something that you have to find yourself, not in individuals and not in other people. That's the number one thing, right? And purpose isn't materialistic things. Purpose comes within. Purpose is something that no one else can feel and touch besides you. And that's a true fact and a true statement within itself. And when we think of inspiration in that aspect, right, I also thought of, my friend brought it to my attention a while back, and he had told me, he was like, Amir, he was like, yo, it's like a double-edged sword when you go on the social media to try to be inspiring with showing materialistic things. These things can make someone be motivated to get to your level, but it also can make people very envious of you or make you feel as though you're being cocky. Now, I believe showing materialistic things on media determines on the context of things, how you're doing it. Are you literally putting in something that you own, like a Lamborghini or a Bugatti or whatever good car you got, and are you inspiring like, yo, you can get this, blase, 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 or are you just going on there just to flex on people? Because in reality, looks can be deceiving. People could look inspiring, but not inspiring at all. They're just doing that for the gram. That's another thing. And that's what you call false confidence or artificial confidence. But we're not even going to talk about that. That's like a whole nother topic. But every day that you don't release what you want to create, someone is suffering because you're not creating what they need. Someone is suffering on this earth because you're not creating what they need. You yourself, whatever you have in your mind, whatever you want to create, it serves a purpose to another individual. It serves a huge purpose. It serves a huge purpose. You have the ability to motivate others. Your purpose has to be funded around inspiring other individuals. Your purpose has to be formulated around that. Whatever way, if it's a God-given gift you have, even if it's a talent, even if it's a God-given gift, right? You simply showing that gift and presenting it to the world, that gift to the world, and able to have people look inside that gift and watch you flourish with that gift will make others flourish and come out with their gift. Inspiring and enthusiasm is just like a circulation of energy that just never stops. The minute you serve as a blueprint for one individual, think your amount of how many other individuals you serving as a blueprint for. Put it in that way. Just think about it. Just think, if I motivated this person, I wonder how many people am I really inspiring to be the best version of them? How many people am I really helping to become better versions of them? And as you help them be better, they helping others to be better. This is like I said, it's just a cycle. Just like the cycle of hatred. The minute you hate one person, another person is going to hate another person, another person is going to hate another person. When you have one hood, two hoods, if you have two hoods hating on each other, right? I kill my mans, you kill my mans, I kill your mans. Now it's not solving anything. It's just a cycle. Same thing as inspiring people. The minute I inspire you, then you'll go inspire someone else. The minute you feel as though I serve as a blueprint for you, you're gonna serve as a blueprint for someone else. The minute you stall on your dream or your creation, the minute someone else's dream and creation is being stalled because they haven't seen anyone else do the creation that you are specifically designed to do. Inspiration also comes with showing value in others, having that vision before having that vision, living in that vision, seeing for what is not like at this current moment, but seeing what it can be. That's what real estate. They're not seeing what it is now. They seeing what it can be. They're not looking at their circumstances right at this moment. I need some water. But they're not looking at the circumstances right at this moment. They know that if I create this house, someone comes in this house, or any other realtor comes in this house, or any other person comes in this house, they know, like, this person has a vision for something. Now, if that person in that particular household wanted to be a real estate agent or anything like that, they was like, damn, he was able to make it this way. Maybe when I go see this next house, I make it similar to this one, but tweak it up in my own fashion, my own creation. Hopefully that makes sense. I kind of just like freestyled and went off the head on that one. But all in all, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this episode up, man. Once again, make sure you guys, rate this podcast. Of course, comment down below how you feel about this podcast on Apple, Spotify, or whatever you get your podcast, y'all. You're on 5 different platforms, and this will be released on YouTube also. It's just strictly audio. But if you can share it with a friend, share it with a friend, share it with a person who really needs to hear this. And faith plus great work ethic creates vulnerable opportunity. Once again, faith plus great work ethic creates vulnerable opportunity. And I'll catch you guys later on Common Sense Podcast. See ya.